This is the first part of our exam walkthrough, and we're going through the grade 12 IT Prac exam from the Department of Education from November 2019. So this is going to be the first part. So we're going through question 1 and starting off. So let's get into it. So question 1 of your IT Prac exam tends to be questions that are quite basic, that relate particularly to grade 10 and a little bit of grade 11. So they're very easy questions to do. So let's just to get us warmed up type of thing. So let's look at the first few questions. So we've got this incomplete project. Here we go. This is what it looks like. You can see there's probably going to be 4 questions. And let's go to question 1.1. Okay, so we're dealing with mini pizzas now. You can order from the tuck shop at school for that amount of money. That's how much they cost each. And they're quite nice here in that they literally tell you exactly what to do step by step, which is like they give you the algorithm to do what they want to do. So it's very easy to get these marks. I wouldn't expect this normally, but take it what you can get. So we're going to go through this and literally make sure that we tick off each of these items off the list that they want me to do. So I've got the program open already. Here it is. We can see there's the program. I'm going to go to question 1.1 over there. Boom. Let's write our code. Now, the first thing they want me to do is they want me to declare a constant variable. Now, you might have forgotten about constants. A constant variable is a variable that like its value doesn't change throughout the project, and you can literally at the top here, we're going to make it a local constant variable because I don't think we need it for anything else. So you say the word const. You see it goes blue. That means it's constant, and here we can write our constant variable, and we can say we're going to call it price. I think they said it must be a price. Yeah, let's just say call it price and make it that value 14.9. So you just have the equal 14.95. So if you've forgotten about constants, that's how you do it. You just give it a name and you give it a value. It will automatically assign that is a real. So it knows that it's going to be a real. And then underneath this, we can now declare our variables for this program. And I think that's the next step. The next step is declare 2 variables that store the number of mini pizzas ordered and the amount due respectively. So the quantity technically, and we want the amount. So I'm assuming that the number of pizzas would be an integer because you can't really buy half a pizza, especially if it's a mini pizza. Who wants half a mini pizza? And then the amount due, which if we're dealing with reals, I would assume that would be a real. So let's say we're going to make it our quantity of type integer. That's how many we're going to buy. And then the amount, the final amount, that would be a enter real. So there we go. We've declared our variables. Now we get to the actual nitty-gritty code. Change the font size of this label to 20 points. Okay, so LBL Q1.20. So let's go. LBL Q1 underscore dot. Now what's the properties? We want to change its font size. I'm going to go to font. There we go. There's font. And we want to change its size. So what property of the font? It's got lots of properties. It's got like type in that. Oh, font. Oh, get out the way here. Size. Yeah, we want size. We want that to be a 20, which is an integer value. We're just going to make it 20. There we go. That's done. That's easy. Retrieve the number of mini pizzas from the spin edit. So if you look over here, there's a little spin edit, SPN Q1. Okay. So we want to put that into our quantity value. So we want to say quantity. So we're changing the quantity to whatever's in the spin edit. And what property of the spin edit has what's contained in it? It's the value property. And you can see that it is an integer. Our quantity is an integer, so we don't need to do any type of converting. So that's great. And then retrieve, oh, we've done that. Now calculate the amount due using the constant price. I'm assuming we're going to store that in the amount. So our amount variable is going to be the quantity multiplied, not 8, multiplied by the price constant. Oh, this is very easy. This is grade 10, like term 1 stuff. And then display the amount due in the label formatted as a currency. So it must look something like that. So we're going to say, okay, so we're changing the label dot caption. And we're going to change it to whatever that amount is. But remember, that amount is a real, and this is going to be a string. So we're going to convert it from what it is, a real to string. But there's no real to string, so it's float to string. But if you read the question carefully, it says there currency. So we want to either put an R in front and make it 2 decimal places. The easiest way is actually use the float string f function. And then we put in the variable that we want to convert, and then we have 3 other parameters. If you remember, the next one is the format, which we're going to have FF. I'll just press FF and then control spacebar, and you get a list of all the options. And there we want currency, and then we can say how many places in front. I don't know. Let's make it 8, and then definitely want 2 off on the right hand side of the decimal place, because it's 2 decimal places because it's currency normally. That 8 is just how many in front of the decimal. So there we go. So there we go. So we order 5. That's what it should look like. Let's test our program. Boom. So we're going to make it 5. So we should see this increase in size. And Eureka. There we go. It's done. Fantastic. Because 1.1 went very quickly. Let's try to do 1.2 as well. In mathematics, we got Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so those of you remember from your math, there's Pythagoras for a right-angled triangle, and they want us to calculate that. So we're only getting one side. So let's just see what they're giving me. Literally the algorithm again. So it's very basic, declaring 3 variables. So let's get into it. Let's go to the code. So over here we're going to go. Okay, so let's go to that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff down here. So I'm assuming we're going to be on this button. That's where we're going to display. That's where we're going to get something from. So let's click there, and we're going to go, and we're going to, what do they want me to do? Declare 3 variables. Now we're going to assume that they're integers. I would assume we don't, or do they want them to be reals? Oh, they could be reals. Look, there's a real option there. Look at the diagram just to give you some hints of what they should be. So let's declare 3 variables. So we're going to declare them RA, RB, and RC. It's normally good to put the prefix in front so we know what they are. They're all reals. Okay, so there we go. We got our 3 reals. And then we're going to assign a value of 4 to A. Oh, so we're going to do this hard code. In other words, we're going to do into the code. So over here, in the code, RA is just going to be equal to 4. We'll just give it a hard value. It's always going to be 4. And then extract the value of B from the edit box. So we're going to get the value from the edit box and put it into the B variable. So we're going to say RB, you're going to get that value from EDT, and it's from the question 1.2 edit box. What property of the edit box? Well, we always get it from the text property, but the problem is the text property is a string, and that's a real. So we just convert it from what it is, string, to what we want it to become, real. So it's going to be from string to float, not string to real, because in these we don't, float and string are technically the same thing. So there we go, string to float. Okay, fantastic. We're on the right track, I think. And yeah, we've done that. Now we must calculate the length of C using that. Okay, so it's a square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, so those of you who've forgotten your Pythagorean formula. So we're going to calculate RC. It equals, so the first thing is we're going to take the square of A. You can do that first. So you can use the square function, square of RA. That will square it. Or you could, if you wanted to, you could have said RA times RA. Or you could have said RA to the power of, how do you say, to the power of 2. You could do, there are lots, you could use the power function. There are lots of options there. So the square of A, I like that one, plus the square of B. So if you look there, let's look. So the square of, so there, oh, that's that one. A squared, yes, plus B squared. There we go. B squared or not B squared. So and then that answer, once we've added them together, that must be square rooted. So we get that answer, and then this whole thing in brackets is going to be square rooted. So I'm going to use the square root function. There we go. At square roots, once that's been done, that should be the right formula. And display the length of C in the panel to 1 decimal place like that. So panel Q2. So let's go. So we're going to say panel. So we're changing the panel Q2. What property of the panel? Well, it's like a label. So it's got a caption property. And we're going to put that C value into there. But remember, this is a string and this is a real. So we must convert it from what it is, a real, to string, or a float to string. But we want to display it, if you remember, to 1 decimal place. So we're going to use that float to string f. So let's just see, just so you can see what the parameters are. You got float string f. You can see there's a value, the format, the precision, and the digit. So we're going to say, okay, we want RC as our value. We want it. We don't want it as a currency. So I'm just going to use FF fixed as my option here. I don't care how many values in front of it. Let's make it 8. But we want it to be 1 decimal off 1 decimal place. There we go. I think that's it. Huh? Let's try it. Running. No, we've done that one. So we're going to put in, I think it was 6.5. They put it in. Boom, boom, boom. And 7.6. What did they get? We got it. Spot on. Our calculation must be right. So there we go. That is question 2. For more videos on IT and the rest of the videos from this Delphi walkthrough of this paper, go to our YouTube channel. So please click on the subscribe button. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, don't do it the long way. Do it the Mr. Long way.